Hey guys, welcome back to Raid Shadow Legends. In today's video, we're over on my account that's only in its third day of play, and we are able to currently get ourselves legendary crafting materials, and this is where I want to propose the idea. Now, I'm not saying this is what you should do. This is just something I'm experimenting with, and I will keep you guys updated along this journey. Like I said, we're on day 3 of this account, and we are actually getting the legendary materials for crafting 6-star gear on day 3, and the great thing is, this crypt is open for another 4 days for me to get maximum value out of it. It's also 4 days and 3 hours, which means I tick over into a 5th day of being able to do this. And I want to talk about the strategy for doing so and why I think this might be a valid option. Now, there's a few considerations. The first thing is to do this, it's going to require that you want to take Supreme GALEK from your code. GALEK versus Wukong is a thing I will make an entire video about which one is better. But to do this, you will need to do the GALEK trick, and you'll need to use the link in the description. My link gives you Elenaril when you start the game. And then at level 10, you get Tagoar. And Tagoar is going to be a very vital point to this system. Now, after that, you also get Mausoleum Mage at 20, and then you get Uugo at level 30. But Tagoar and the Supreme GALEK mixed with starting your account with GALEK himself is what's going to make this whole system work. Now, once again, if you are going Wukong, I definitely think Kayle is the play. Kayle has forever been the go-to. If we jump over in case someone's new and don't know who Kayle is. I know Dark Elves, where are we? Where's Dark? There we go. So we jump down into Kayle. So Kayle has been forever like the go-to guy because he has poison damage. And poison damage is very effective when you're trying to work through dragons in the early game and also when you look to clan boss. So that is why he's generally the one. And if you are going for Wukong code, I definitely recommend Kayle. You go Kayle first. Now, you can still go Kayle first if you are going with the Supreme 6 code and getting yourself the Supreme GALEK. But this is just an experiment that I wanted to run, and I'm thoroughly impressed with it so far. If you look at some of the crafting gear I've already been able to make, we've got this one here with the nice 17% crit rate. We also rolled an accuracy. You know, it would have been great to have the extra roll into the accuracy as opposed to resistance, but it's not too bad. We did get some maxed out crit rate gloves. So we are starting to craft some really solid gear. You can see Uugo, if we go over to her, we got a 6-star set of HP. And once again, this account is free to play, completely free to play, and only on day 3 of logins. So we're only still in the midst of our 3rd day of play. Now I want to talk through the process. Now, the reason I say choose GALEK if you want to try this, once again, starting Kayle may even still be the best option. I need to see as this account progresses how I feel the payoff of dropping the Kayle to do this is going to be. But just keep in mind, we do have other poisoners, and I'm going to experiment with this because we obviously have Elenaril, who is a really solid poisoner. Because of the code that, because of the download link that we can bring in for poison teams if we want. We've also got the monk who are, dude, these are the 2 that I want, and I've only pulled 1 of each on this account the whole time. But yeah, we do have Outlaw Monk, who is another access to poisons. Later on in the game, we will get the Dark Kayle as well. So we do have other options. And for me personally, I've just had way more fun playing through with Supreme GALEK as my main unit, as opposed to playing through with Kayle as my main unit. It just feels a bit more fun. And it just feels a bit more purposeful with him. That's just kind of the way I would describe it. But once again, the thing you want to do if you are trying this strategy, you will have to sweat bloody hard in the game and crank through these Arbiter missions. You can see here on day 3, I've already completed the Arbiter missions. I've got all the material to fuse Justicar. I'm just waiting to record this video, and then I'll go ahead and collect, because this one behind my head has 250 stamina. So I'm waiting to collect that. Then I'll fuse Justicar. Then I'll complete this mission, and then we'll move on to the next round of missions. But the thing I want to show you guys is the 2 units you really want to focus on, though, are going to be your Tagoar and your Supreme GALEK, because these 2 are what is going to carry you through the faction wars in this Orc Crypt and start getting you some good craftable gear. Now, I'm hoping by tomorrow or the next day, I actually get my GALEK to 6-star, which will mean I can hopefully be able to clear this stage 14 and maybe push even further and be able to get myself even more craftable materials, which will be absolutely fantastic for the progression. But that is the general system that I operate on, and that was the whole theory behind this account when I started it. So and we'll go through a bit of a roundup of where the account is currently at, once again on day 3 of play, and explain to you some of the decisions I made along the way, because there might be a few things like these 2 being at 5-star Ascension, Awakening. Dude, I play so many games. They're 5 purple stars. I get tongue-tied with playing so many games on what they call every system, but like, let's go through the account where we're at in day 3 and the reasons I made some of the decisions. So if we go through here, these two, they are at purple stars because along the way in the Arbiter missions, there are some early ones where you've got to awaken, let me just ascend, that's what it is. You've got to ascend them to 5-star. And these guys, I'm going to make fodder anyway, and it's super cheap to do these 2-stars because in this one, normally, you know, for your first one, you would do your Kale, but because we're not actually using the GALEK, we're only using really epics and legendaries. They're really expensive to upgrade. So I did these two for the first 2 missions to get them done because they're super cheap. I was going to be making up fodder anyway, and that is what I did. Then the third one, I did the Mausoleum Mage because I just had enough from all the missions that I'd worked through. Now, if we look at the other things, why have I done Tagoar? I mean, Tagoar to level 50 was a pretty self-explanatory one. That is because we need him with GALEK, and these stages start getting hard, so you need to combine those two to get through that crypt. Then I did the Mausoleum Mage because I had to have 4 champions at level 50 for a mission. If I had have pulled another legendary along the way, I would have leveled that to level 50 and not done the Mausoleum Mage and just done another fodder unit. But because I didn't, I just did the Mausoleum Mage because I didn't want to go ahead and level a fodder unit all the way up to level 50. I felt like that would be just kind of just inefficient in general. So that's what we did there. Now you can see where my GALEK is at, and that's pretty much, I think that's the only weird decisions you would have seen. I prefer doing the Mausoleum Mage in the early game to 50 before Uugo. I just think the defensive capabilities of this guy far outweigh what Uugo can offer when we take a look at 0 books into them, because Tagoar is the one that we go ahead and put the books into. As you can see, we need 1 more book into his skill 2. Actually, let's go over to the Tavern right now and see if we can get that. I think I got one. Upgrade skills. Yes. Please go into the skill 2. Damn it, went into skill 1. I thought we were going to luck out and actually save some books on this guy. Well, I'll have to wait and see. But that is that one. Once again, if we take a look at my GALEK, the big thing on this guy is, once again, and the reason this strategy is something that I wanted to test out is because the perception set is so important, especially as you get into harder stages of progression, because everyone just needs accuracy. And everyone just needs speed. And being able to get 40 accuracy plus the speed is just so powerful in the game. So I just, these early on are so important because I got to the stage where I was trying to clear stuff and my GALEK was not landing any of his debuffs. And I needed the accuracy, but I still want to build him for high damage, high crit. And so that's the pickle we got into. You can see we are overcapped on crit. That's because we did get some 6-star gloves. When we were rocking the 4-star gloves originally, we were close to crit cap with this. He also has a passive 10% on 2 of his attacks as well, so he's well over crit cap. But we just had we re-rolled for an account that had a good set of gears, so we had 15% crit rate here and 16% crit rate here, and then obviously we got this one which had another 17% crit rate, so we're kind of cooking. Now another question people might ask is, why have I done the boots up to level 35 when they're 4-star? Sorry, up to level 16. The reason for this is, and I haven't run the math, so don't quote me on it, I just want to explain my logic, and I haven't taken the time to find out if my logic is quite sound. But level 16 4-star boots is 35 speed, 5-star boots maxed out is 40 speed, but I feel like it costs about double the silver to max out a pair of 5-star boots. So I'm like, I'd rather just have 2 champions with the 35 boost on their speed as opposed to one with a 40 boost. That was my logic on that one, and that is why I did that on the boots. So, you know, take from that what you will. I'm not saying it is the best. I haven't mathematically summed it out to find out if it is more efficient or anything like that. That was just one of those ones where in my head it made sense, so I went ahead and did it. So that is a look at that one. That is where we're going. As for how we're progressing in other areas, dungeons like the keeps, I think we only had to go to level 10 for some of the missions. I think, yeah, we're up to like 12 on this one. We're up to 13 on that one. That one, GALEK was just basically soloing. He's actually really good at soloing a lot of content in the game. Because of when he gets stunned or like when he gets controlled, he just gets full health and gets another turn, and it's really awesome. So Minotaur, we actually managed to get up to stage 14. It's a slow run, but we could farm it like that. I ended up doing stage 11 with just GALEK and Tagoar to get my, you have to at some stage get a tier 3 mastery on another champion. So I just did 2-man Tagoar and GALEK over here, because obviously GALEK is the one I unlocked my max masteries with the 800 for. So that's what we did over there. Besides that, that's pretty much it. I haven't really pushed any of the other things too hard at the moment, just sort of going along with what the missions want me to do. The other cool thing about GALEK is he just has, and I'll talk more about this in a GALEK versus Wukong video, but this passive is just so nice because it works well in dragons. Dragons, you don't pop the bubble, it's fine. He just gets full health and an extra turn. You know, in the ice golem, the freeze that happens when you deal too much damage to him, say his ads are still alive and you deal too much damage, you just get full health and you get another turn. Then we jump into the Fire Knight, and the Fire Knight, we got a double hitter and a 4-hitter, which is just really, really nice. The other thing I do want to mention is GALEK actually has decent synergy with Elenaril over here. You might not think so because you can only have 1 HP burn on the enemy, but this one with this ability, what it will do is if there's only one enemy, like a boss, it will do the 4 hits on the one enemy and trigger the burn like 3-4 times. So it will deplete the burn. So by having Elenaril, it means he can deplete his own burn or the first burn that Elenaril put, and then you can replace another one so that when the boss takes turns, you're still getting that ticking damage. So I really do like the synergy between these two as well in terms of like the HP burn in itself as well. It's not too bad. Like I said, it's not the most broken thing, but when we're just starting free to play, when you've got these champions, it works pretty damn well. Now, moving on past that, you guys kind of saw the faction wars. We're up to 46 stars. You can't see it. My fat head's in the way. So there we are at 46 stars. And you know, it's going, like I said, this is the main one. Hopefully tomorrow I will be able to clear stage 14 of this one. That'd be really handy. Also get the books as well. And that's where we are there. As for Arena, we're actually doing pretty decent in Arena. I don't think I had a fresh account that's done this well. We're 18 points away from getting into Gold 1, which, you know, I thought we would be struggling considering we don't have the Wukong for the speed lead. But, you know, eventually, keep in mind, we will eventually get the Arbiter for the speed lead as well. But yeah, it's just a matter of picking your opponents carefully. Oh, dude, talk about an absolute gift. Dude, like the Arena is literally about coming back every 15 minutes, getting your easy wins, and then climbing, and then hoping your defense can get some wins. We'll actually take a look at my my defense here. You can see we've had a few, that's defense? Yeah, that's defense. You can see we've had a few victories there, have a few defeats, have victory. You know, considering how high we are on day 3, I'm pretty happy with like a 50% win rate on defense. Like that's honestly really solid for me. So if we go ahead here, dude, that was a good refresh. Take the free win. But yeah, this one, the one thing you are lacking without the Wukong is going to be that speed lead for early game Arena. But like I said, I don't think I've done this on an early game account with a Wukong before. So the GALEK just hits so damn hard. So there we go. We've got the reach gold in Arena. Dude, we got no... Bro. No shot. What is gold? Dude, we are done. We are completely done. What's my team's power? 44. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to climb up into gold, wait for my defense to drop me back down, and then climb up and then do it. I guess I've just got to yo-yo it. I don't think there's any way out of that, because or I just attack and lose, and then it's attack and go up, depending on how many tickets I got to expire. But that is where we are at Arena. Tag Arena we just unlocked, so we're not too stressed about that. Clan Wars, I haven't really tuned myself for clan bosses yet. I've just been slapping in my units and going. We're not too stressed about that. Campaign, I basically just got to stage 6 of this. I didn't even bother with the boss because I just got to farming stage and that's where we were. What I'm actually farming at the moment on this account is this one over here, though. I'm farming my fodder while farming this to get more of the orc dog because, like I said, I've been really unlucky on it at the moment because, like I said, if we go over to the champions, we're using the orcs, obviously. So when we go to faction guardians and we go to orcs, you can see I've already got one pair there. So I'm just farming that stage so I can get as many of the dogs as I can to go ahead and do that. Now, if you see this one here, you can see that we've got the Fused Justicar as the final mission. I've got that all ready to go. You really do want to... Even though like 12-3 is good, I might do a whole video about this. You do want to focus on at least getting a War Maiden, an Heiress, a Diabolist, and a Spirit Host, because those are the 4. You need them at 3-star purple, level 30 to go ahead and fuse the Justicar. So you will need that for the mission. If we go over here to the Justicar, you can see that is what you need for the fusion. So you definitely want to farm those stages first to get them. And then, like I said, I've been farming to try and get myself some of the dogs. It's a little bit inefficient on experience, but you know, if it can give me those stats in this early stage on the champions that I'm really focusing on, then we can start to get cooking over here. Now, the other thing you can look to as well, if you are a bit of a spender, this strategy might work even better due to the past giving so many of the chickens. The one downside is the chickens take a fair bit to get to because we're not doing the the missions over here. Now, I could definitely upgrade Galek's skills 3 times. Like, that's really cheap and really easy to do. I could equip him with 6 level 12 artifacts. Actually, this stuff I'm going to go ahead and do. Level 3 of Ascension. I mean, we could do that. Like, that's pretty fine. So I can do all these things. I'm not going to rank 5 him unless I do it to fodder him off at the end. So maybe I will rank 5 him just to fodder, but just take a look at these missions, because if you are a spender and you do the light spend and pay $10 or $15, however much this costs in US dollars, well, then you're going to have access to these extra chickens, which means you're going to probably be able to get your Supreme Galek to 6-star faster and then push even harder in, especially, like I said, the faction wars, because this is where you're getting such high value when you start getting these legendaries. Now, when each run I did, I was getting about 10 to, I think it was 10 to 12. I think 12 was the max I saw on drops from this stage, which is the first legendary stage. So it's not too bad. Each drop was giving me a craftable 6-star. And then when I was coming in here, I'm only using these bad boys. I use these 2 only on the perception set. I don't use them on the resilience set, because perception is the one I really want to get the good ones on. So that's what I'm crafting over there for the 5/6s. And then keep in mind, because we do have so many of the purples as well, I'm kind of, even though like with the other ones, oh wait, dude, we got one here to craft. I didn't realize we had one more. So we'll craft that. But yeah, I in general on other accounts, when I haven't pushed that hard, I don't really craft these, but I'm not crafting the 4 to 5s, because when you do the other crypts that you're not very good at, you will get some of the blue ones. I'm not crafting those just in case I do actually end up only pulling the golden ones, because I don't want to run out of purples to craft the gold ones. If I hit a situation where, yeah, you're like, I'm kind of swimming in the golden ones here, then maybe I go for it. But in general, if I'm getting 10 per drop over here and I just keep getting them, I don't want to run out of my purples. But let's go ahead and craft this one. So here we go. Once again, we are a bit strapped on these bad boys, so I'm only using them for the perception set. So we'll just craft this one and see how we go for a 5 to 6. Blue. Okay, it is a 6-star. It's a helmet with 5 speed. Dude, that is actually really solid. Let's go ahead and quickly upgrade that anyway. And this is the kind of stuff you can get to. So let's just go filter, just new. Where is it? This bad boy. If we get double speed rolls, that's pretty solid. Let's see. Okay, 1 speed roll, not too bad. Like, I mean, it's decent, because it is the HP main stat, and like obviously we've got 3 units in Mausoleum, Mage, Tagoar, and also Uugo that want the HP main stat. So I mean HP as their priority stat, so it's not too bad. This one over here, what have we got? We got 10 speed on this one. It's probably going to straight up replace this one. It's probably going to straight up replace that one, because that is only a 4-star, but it did have all the substats, and we did get 2 rolls into speed. But obviously, when we take a look at something like this, you only needed 1 roll into the speed, and it's outperforming, and it's already got more HP. So if we just, dude, I'm so strapped on silver though, so I don't want to go there yet. But I think I will just straight replace that one and then use Tagoar's one on someone else, because once again, the focus of this account is getting those 2 beefed up, so that in these next 5 days worth of faction crypts, I can just stomp them as hard as possible. But my next call is obviously collect this stamina, burn this, get through this, jump into the next stage, and then I will hit the brick wall on this 3rd phase of the Arbiter quest, which is make a 6-star. So all I am doing now is focusing on farming up my fodder to make my Supreme Galek up to 6-star. You can see I do have a fair bit, you know, sort of, not a fair bit, but a little bit stacked up. For probably my next one, but yeah, it is going to take a day or 2's worth of stamina, so I'm going to see how quickly we can go ahead and rush that up so that we can get him all beefed up. And then we can go ahead and keep going through the missions once we get that 6-star. So that is where we're at. That is once again on day 3 of the account. Definitely an option for you guys if you are wanting to use the Supreme Galek on an account. Use the link in the description. That will get you all the pieces you need to make this possible. Once again, the Elenaril, the Tagoar, the Mausoleum Mage, and the Uugo. Uugo is a bit more of a later thing. I definitely think these 3 are like 3 key units for you. We do also, I'm actually, instead of Uugo, I'm contemplating when I start pushing, actually building up the Balor instead. He only brings the small buffs, but you can upgrade them with the blessing later on. Once you unlock blessings. And I'm thinking about getting him for the AoE slow attack break and defense break for wave control, essentially. And that's where I'm thinking about taking him over taking the Uugo at the moment in early game teams when we look to dragons and stuff like that. But I will experiment and get back to you guys on that one. But Ugo's obviously going to be an absolute monster when we take a look at something like the you know, the Hydra and stuff as we keep going forward. But yeah, if I can get him with his blessing by the time I start looking to farm, I might actually go with the Bellower. You get him from the welcome gift code, and you have to use it after day 3 of your account, and that's how you get the Bellower, which is an absolutely fantastic unit. Once again, you can see him with these level 16 1-stars. If you're wondering why that is, there was a mission to equip one champion with 3 level 16 pieces. These boots were ones that I actually made for someone else, and then I swapped them off. I've actually got to put them on back onto someone else. But then, yeah, these 1-stars, it's just super cheap to make a level 16 1-star, so it's just that way I can keep chugging through the missions. Anyway, that is everything that I wanted to go through on this account. Just a first look at this day 3 account. I'll keep you guys updated with how the progress goes. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.